Okay, today we're talking about suspended second chords or sus2 chords. All that means is take a note, like say you're playing a D chord, and you're going to take the highest note of that chord that is a D, not the low D, but the highest one, and move it up 2 frets. So we're moving it up to E. Quickest way to do that is by actually just getting rid of the finger that's on the E string and let the E string play out. Okay. Now, a thing to remember here is it sounds great if you use a regular major first chord or your 1 chord. There's a G. And now, if we were to do the C and we want to make a sus2 out of it, we simply take the highest C note, move it up to D. Easiest way to do this is actually to take your regular G chord that has the ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, that kind of a 4-finger G chord. And to make sure your D is already there, we just simply move the 2 fingers down that were up here on the E and the A string. Just move them both down 1 fret. Okay, so that gives you your C sus2. It has the D in there. Okay, and then we went through the 5 chord, the D, take the 1 finger off the high E string. So you have 3 chords. You have your G chord, the regular major, C sus2, back to G, C sus2, now the D sus2, C, okay. So that's a quick way to go through that. You've probably done that a million times and just never thought about these being suspended second chords. Okay, if you think about it that way, the 4 and the 5 chords being suspended, that helps a lot. Okay, say we were actually doing it in A as a bar chord. Okay. Now we're going to want to do a B note on there if that's what you're going to do. Okay, that doesn't sound great. It would if the A were in the 5 or 4 position of another chord, like in E, and then go to A sus2. Much in the way that we did the G and the C. Okay, so the way to do it in E is to simply drop the 2 fingers down. Okay, while we're right there, let's go ahead and just take that whole thing up and bar it. So we're barring at the 2nd fret. So we're at the A string at 2. Then on down, we're going 4, 4, 2, and 2. The whole thing back. Those are both sus2 chords, then back to the E major. Okay, so sounds great. Where I was going at before, if we go to A as a bar chord, and we take it back to the 7, okay, we have 2 major chords. Now we're going to want to go to the 4 chord as a bar chord. So let's take it up to the D, 5th fret, 7, 7, 5, 7, so it sounds great there because we're doing the 4 chord as a suspended second, or a sus2. So the A, the G, 4 as a sus2, okay, so it sounds really great there. Now if we were going just a straight 1, 4, 5 like we did earlier, we would actually just do the A, drop it down. You can do just the 2 fingers, and then move that whole thing up 2 frets. Okay, or you can just map it out. Okay, so it sounds great as a 4 and a 5 chord. Again, it's always going to sound best that way. You can mess around and use the sus2 as your 1 chord, and it will sound fine if you play other chords differently. So like a D as a sus2. Okay, a major chord after that will sound best if your 1 chord is a sus2. So your next chord, which I went down to a 7 or a C. Just went to the G major, then back to D sus2. You can go back to major if you wish, but in that kind of a context, you're doing it backward, whereas the other 2 chords are majors, and your first chord is a sus2. Okay, so that's basically it, is to try suspended seconds as your 4 and 5 chord. Again, one that just sounds really great also is a variation of the E. Move the 2 fingers down for your A sus2. When you move that whole thing up, you don't have the B in the root, so make that into a whole thing. Okay, so E, A sus2, B sus2, A sus2, and then E. Okay, you've heard this stuff a million times. I just want you to be conscious of what's actually going on. So again, try your 4s and your 5s as suspended chords. Okay, of course you can do sus4s and sus everything else, but just wanted to make you aware of the sus2 and how cool it can actually be. Even though, like say you're playing with a band or a backing track, if everybody else is just playing major chords, that's fine. Go ahead and play a sus2 with it. It will sound fine. Nothing's going to be really screwy sounding at all when you're doing those 4s and 5s as sus2 chords. Okay, so that A will sound great because everybody's doing an A, and that D sus2 will sound great, as will the E. Okay, so that is it. Hope you guys found it groovy. Nice, easy, quick lesson, and I'll catch you on the next one.